What's up, YouTube? Today is rug shop day number 1. So I've mentioned in previous videos that we have now leased a 2,400 square foot facility here in Manning to expand the rug shop. So I'm going to start working on getting some of that ready today. And that way you'll see it for the first time here on the channel, and I'm going to let you follow me through the entire build out, so you'll see, starting from an empty building, how we turn it into a world-class rug shop with reasonable costs. So today, first item on the list is the buffer tank. So you'll see in some rug videos a lot of pressure washing, and I don't like to use pressure on rugs. I would prefer to rinse with high volume, low pressure water, and a standard municipal water supply just can't provide the volume that we want. So I'm going to the local Tractor Supply to pick up a couple 100-gallon buffer tank. I'm not sure what size they have in stock, but at least 200 gallons or so. Bigger would be better. And so what that allows you to do is you can fill that tank, and that'll be plumbed to a 1-inch hose through an EcoJet pump to get high volume and about 40 psi of pressure, so we can rinse rugs and rinse out the detergent and soil as well as the pre-rinse. So once I get the tank, I'll have to fit it with a float valve so it can automatically fill, and hopefully move it into the rug shop today, if I can move it myself and weather permitting. It's clouding up a lot here. I'm not sure what the weather's going to do today. But tank aside, I've got some other hoses and pumps and stuff I need to get moved over to the shop. I got to run some drain lines and some water lines for the wash pit. And that's kind of what's on the agenda today. So I'm headed to Tractor Supply right now. Here we go. Alright guys, so I got my tank here to the house. I brought it here because they store them outside, and it's just pretty dirty. And it had about 75 gallons of water in it when I picked it up. So I'm going to just rinse off the outside, and I'll put some blocks under these front legs so I can rinse out the tank some. There you go, there's the price, $629.99 from Tractor Supply. You can get, it's 325 gallons. And you can get these tanks cheaper online, but by the time you pay for shipping and all, the value is just not there. It's just easier to go uptown and pick it up. So 325-gallon tank. And then I got a thick rubber mat for underneath of it, just to kind of keep some of the pressure off the tank legs. And I'm gonna get this slid out halfway out the truck, block the front leg so it's at an angle, and see if I can get it cleaned up before the rain comes. So here we go. So here's the inside. Dramatic. You can see some crap floating around in there that we got to get rinsed out. So I got the rear of the tank jacked up on a 4x4 block, leaning out the back of the truck so I can get it rinsed out and cleaned off, and then it's on to the shop. Here we go. Alright guys, the rain has held off so far. I got the outside of the tank washed off, still rinsing the inside. It's hard to get it completely drained to zero, even with it tilted up. But still working on that. But I want to show you what my setup's going to be. This is an EcoJet shallow well pump. I actually picked this up off of the Amazon Marketplace. So it's gently used. I think it's been used for about an hour. This is a 16 gallon per minute at 63 psi pump. So at 16 gallons a minute, that's going to give us roughly 20 minutes, would be 320 gallons, so roughly 20 minutes of wash time to drain this buffer tank. And of course the tank's going to be filling the whole time too, so that buys you some extra time. By the time that 20 minutes is gone, you've put another roughly 80 gallons of water in it. So that buys you time to keep up with the municipal water supply. So I'm going to plumb a float valve right here to the standard cold water supply. This will be cold water rinse. Not planning on any way of heating the water for our full rinse. And I'm getting ready to take this over to the shop. So we'll have this pump, obviously not these same fittings, but we'll run from the 2-inch outlet of the tank to the 1-inch inlet of the pump using this 1-inch rubber hose. And then this same hose is going to be our wash plant rinse hose. So you'll have a valve at the end to cut that off. And the pump has a built-in pressure switch. So it's going to build up to 63 PSI, and then the pump will cut off. So if you close the valve on the hose, the pump's going to build up pressure and then cut off. When you open the valve, the pump will run steady to keep up the supply until you're done rinsing. So that's the way it's going to work. Once I finish getting the inside rinsed out, we're going to get this to the shop and get it unloaded. So here we go. All right, guys, we're here in the shop. First looks, I get some lights turned on. We still got to paint the walls. Landlord's having the painters come in. So all the setup work I do today, I'm going to try to keep everything kind of away from the walls. But let me show you what we got. This is the blank canvas. So the whole building's 24 feet wide, 100 feet long. We got right next to Domino's on one side and Anytime Fitness on the other. You can see the pillars kind of down the middle. This is 8 feet wide. So our layout's going to look like this. We're going to have, starting in this back corner, there's some storage and all back there through those doors. Kind of uninteresting, a bathroom. But in this corner is where the rugs will start their journey to cleanliness. We'll have about 20 feet of lengthways of dusting area. Roughly somewhere around in this area is where that tank that I brought with me is going to end up. And then directly beside that is where our wash pit will start. The wash pit's 20 feet long, so it's going to go somewhere in maybe this neighborhood in the length. And then we got a centrifuge that'll go just on the other side of that. And a drying rack. And the drying rack, because this whole building is climate controlled, the drying rack will have some walls, but it's probably going to remain open most of the time. But the drying rack will go here. So up front, we'll have a little area to kind of inspect rugs, roll them out for the customer, and get them gone. So dirty rugs start back there and work their way through the process. When they end up here, they'll be clean. They just pulled a counter out of here that the prior business had that we didn't really want. So we'll have just like a small workstation here to bring in the rugs. I can interact with the customers. And along this wall, it's going to be pretty open. We want to really have visibility of the entire rug washing operation by the customer if they want to watch it. No secrets here. So it's going to be wide open down this 8-foot side. And we're working with some vendors. I really want to sell some really high quality rugs in here, both second owner and brand new. So we may end up having some like vertical hanging racks here to display rugs for sale. So there's your first look. I got to get the air cut on, but I got to pick up an air filter. So I wanted to put an air filter on there before I cut it on. Cut some more lights on, some light back here. So this back area is storage, restroom, obviously restroom there. This is an old restroom. It was not ADA compliant, so they just built a new restroom. in here. Not much to see, it's just a toilet. This little corner is where there at one point was a wash sink there, but that drain line is what's going to extend. That's a 2-inch drain line that's going to extend to the wash pit. So we'll have a sump pump for the wash pit, and then all the wastewater is going to go through that line. And the water heater and water inlet is right up top here. So I'll be able to draw a water line from kind of anywhere in there to run water down along this wall. So along this wall through here, we'll have both water and drain running the length. We'll fill up my big tank and our chemical tanks, and then have fresh water available all the way through. So guys, that's your first look at the C&N Cleaning Rug Shop. So it's not much to look at now. We got to get some better looking paint on the walls, get some equipment in here, and get everything set up. But it's plenty of space for us. I think it's going to work out real well. I guess I could show you, not much to look at, but there's a little storage room in here. We may actually just take out this temporary wall and open the storage back here up a little bit. But that's what it looks like. And we got what the boys are already calling their break room in here. So we'll have a little break room for them. And I unloaded the truck here at the back door, so I brought everything in right back here. So there's everything I had in the truck that's got to come inside. So I am going to get this all in the door, go get an air conditioner filter so I can get the air conditioner running, and then probably go get some lunch, and we'll meet back here shortly. So here we go. All right guys, we made it back to the shop. Went by and got an air filter so I can get the air conditioner running. Started getting a couple of the small plumbing things we need. Went and got some lunch, and then come back, show you a little update of so far. So I changed my mind about tank placement. I decided I'm gonna put my buffer tank back here in this little hole. For one reason is the hole is not really good for much else, and two, it kind of keeps it out of sight from the customers, a little cleaner installation. But the biggest reason is because I got a water supply right there, and power right there for the pump, and then my drain and my water will both be right there side by side. So I did get the float valve installed. I don't have any tools with me, so I got to go get some Teflon tape and some channel locks and a screwdriver and kind of lock all them connections down and get some PVC fittings so I can hook up the pump and run the drain line. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna take a little break, go let dogs out the house, pick up some more supplies, and get back to work. Here we go. All right guys, I've been in here working a little while. I'll give you a little update. Haven't updated in a little bit. I'm gonna show you what I got. So I got the PVC laid out to where our drain lines are gonna run. So the sanitary Y at the end, and then 10 foot in, and then that drain line is going to run straight through the wall. And then the bottom pipe you see is going to be our buffer tank's main line. So I got to get some straps to hang that pipe. There's already in the wall some places to hang it every 10 feet or so from the previous tenant. But for right now, I just got them propped up. I got the buffer tank in on top of the mat and plumbed up with the float valve. So it was conveniently the right size to just run a regular supply line from that old sink supply line right there, and I've already leak tested. That works well. because I had it hooked up to this spigot up top, but it just leaked. That spigot stem, the stem in that valve leaked real bad. So here's my float tank, or float valve inside the tank. So that should fill up to about there, at which case it'll stop. We're going to leave it off when we're not here and try to use most of the tank just to eliminate the possibility of any emergencies. But tank's plumbed to a valve here in case I ever need to get the tank out. And of course, just added precaution, just cut that off when we're not here. And then I got the drain line plumbed back to this original drain line coming into the wall. So that'll be more than enough drain capacity for the sump pump. The sump pump plumbs to 1.5 inches anyway. But if for some reason I ever needed more drain capacity, I could just run this. There's a toilet inside this old bathroom that I could just pull up and reutilize that 3-inch drain. But I really don't think we're going to need it. So I think this is going to work out perfect and keep this tank back here out the way, where it's going to do its job quietly. So I can go ahead and continue on with my pipes, but I'm running out of things to prop them up with. What I might do is go ahead and glue in the second half, but leave that joint till I can get some straps, because of course I got to make sure it's all, the drain line especially, is all leveled within code. So it's got to go maybe a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch every 10-foot drop, just to make sure that shit can flow downhill. I use these sanitary Ys, so I always got a clean out just in case. And of course, one will be the sump pump and one will be unutilized at the moment because everything's going to drain to the wash pit floor. But I think I'm going to need to, or going to want to, put in a vent on this end. So I'll run it 6 feet up the wall and put a Studer vent. But the hardware store across the street didn't have any Studer vents, so for right now I'm just going to leave that Y in it. Then you can see my pile of parts, etc. is growing. We're right across the street from the Ace Hardware here in town, so super convenient. So instead of getting a bunch of stuff I don't need, I just go take a trip, walk across the street, get what I need and come back. Air conditioner in here works well, that's for sure. So that's a good sign. I can work in here. And I'm not far from calling it a day. We got a floor job tonight, so I want to go take a little break before we have to start that up. So it might be about as far as I get tonight. I've leak tested the tank. And I think that's a pretty good stopping point. Come back with a way to hang those lines and finish running those. That won't take but just a few minutes. And plumb my pump, which I need to take a look at while I'm here and make sure I got the fittings to do what I want to do there. So till the next update, that's probably gonna close this video out. It's getting to be pretty long. Stay tuned. The next update will be done the plumbing. Hopefully our wash floor will be here next week. I'm kind of surprised it's not already here. It should be here next week. We're still probably a month out on the centrifuge. It should be on the water next week coming from Turkey. Haven't really started on our drying racks. I got a local company giving me a quote to build per my design, but they've been real busy with coronavirus related requests for terminals and stuff like that. So that's where we're at. We're still on pace, I think, to be washing in here by October. So I will keep you up to date. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget, 1,000 subscribers and Felicia's going to let me fix the air in my truck so I can have air conditioning in the truck again. So please hit that subscribe button for me. And as always, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.